Han scanned the musicians and dancers at the center of the market square. Long Su was right about one thing. These weren't the sort of bandits he usually dealt with. An explosion of drums shook the street, and the audience leaned in closer, clamoring for a better view as the dancer leapt into motion. This was no soft seduction of willowy arms and flowing silk. Her technique was sharp, precise, and powerful as she executed sword forms one might see in a fighting drill. She extended her limbs through each movement, exaggerating and accentuating the beauty of the underlying structure. "She's good," Han remarked. "It's all show," Long Su said dismissively. "I've yet to meet a woman with any true sword skill." Han chose not to answer. He would rather concentrate on the sword dancer than bicker with small-minded vagabonds. There was no doubt that what they were seeing was a performance. Yet there was something in the dancer's stance and her grip on the sword that triggered some instinct within him. With each thrust of the sword, his pulse rose. With each lunge and leap, his heart beat faster. It was the essence of the sword dance, the balance of contrasting elements. The hardness of the warrior technique served to highlight the sensuality of the dance. He was enchanted by the suppleness of an exposed wrist, enthralled by the hint of rounded calves and gently curved thighs beneath the flowing costume. The dancer's eyes met his at the end of a turn, and his heart forgot to beat. Han kept his expression blank as he returned her gaze. Her skin was glistening, her cheeks flushed. After the brief pause, she moved on, and Han swallowed past a sudden dryness in his throat. The rival thief-catcher had also stopped talking to stare, the same as every other man in the audience. Han needed to focus, maintain a critical eye. He was here to complete a job, not to be charmed by a dancing girl. The drummers transitioned to a quicker tempo, beating out a driving rhythm as the dancer took to the air. The sword flowed with her, the flash of the blade highlighting each turn while the audience murmured with excitement. To everyone else, the sword dancer's movements were nothing more than a performance, but the underlying technique caught Han's attention. There was training there, years and years of training, not something one usually found at a dusty street fair in some back-road town. At last, the penetrating rhythm fell away to the soft refrain of the flute. The melody floated through like clouds parting to calm the storm. The sword dance took on a peaceful, almost languid quality before dropping back into stillness. The crowd erupted into applause, and the dancer took a graceful bow, sword tucked carefully along one arm, as the troops sent their minions through the crowd to collect coins. A commotion erupted among the musicians. A few of the thief-catchers had become overeager and were moving in, shouting and attempting to make arrests. "Novices," Long Su snorted. Han shook his head in exasperation. A few of the entertainers started shoving through the crowd in an attempt to break free. A sword was drawn from somewhere within the chaos, and suddenly everyone was in full motion like ants on a hill. His first inclination was to back away. There was too much confusion, and he wasn't even clear who the suspects were. But a flutter of rose streaked with gold and green caught his eye. The sword dancer. Her, his thief-catching instinct shouted. Instinct was all it took to set him into motion. She wove through the crowd and ducked into the tavern across the street, slicing through the beaded curtain. Han followed, but the strings of beads swung and tangled around him. By the time he shoved through, the dancer was flying up